Prince Harry, known for his fiery temper and controversial statements, just crossed a major line during an interview with CBS's Jane Pauley. What was supposed to be a calm and insightful conversation about his life after stepping back from royal duties turned into an explosive moment. Why? Because Jane Pauley refused to call him Your Highness, and the prince's reaction was nothing short of enraged. But was this a one-off incident, or does it reveal deeper tensions within the royal family? Let's break it down. It's not often that we get a glimpse into Prince Harry's true emotions, but in his most recent CBS interview, that's exactly what happened. Jane Pauley, the respected journalist and anchor of CBS Sunday Morning, was tasked with sitting down with Harry for what many hoped would be a candid and reflective conversation. The royal family has always been shrouded in formality, with titles and honorifics playing a major role in how members are addressed. So when Harry, now a private citizen, was interviewed, many expected him to drop some of the royal airs. But there's one thing Harry simply couldn't let go of during his conversation with Pauley. The title, for those who've been keeping up. With Harry's post-royal journey, you know that he and Meghan Markle stepped away from royal duties in 2020, choosing instead to carve out a life of independence in California. However, despite no longer holding official royal positions, Harry and Meghan have frequently retained their titles, Duke and Duchess of Sussex, and both have continued to emphasize their royal status in public appearances and media projects. But this interview was different. Pauley, being a seasoned journalist, decided to address Harry by his first name, Harry, as opposed to the formal Your Highness or Prince Harry. And that decision, though subtle, had major consequences. As the interview progressed, it became clear that Harry was visibly uncomfortable with Pauley's casual approach to his title. There was an awkward moment where he gently corrected her, asking, "Don't you think you should call me Your Highness?" Pauley, ever the professional, brushed it off with a light laugh, but Harry's expression turned serious. What followed was a palpable shift in the dynamic of the conversation. For Harry, this moment was more than just a minor faux pas. It was a direct challenge to his identity, the very title that has defined him for his entire life. To him, Your Highness represents centuries of royal tradition, heritage, and respect. Without it, he felt diminished, as though his royal identity was being erased. As the interview continued, Harry's frustration simmered. At several points, he seemed visibly agitated, struggling to maintain his composure. His answers, once measured and controlled, grew shorter, and his tone became more clipped. For someone who's constantly working on his image, trying to position himself as a champion for mental health, philanthropy, and progressive causes, this outburst was a stark contrast. But what really made this moment shocking was not just Harry's reaction, but Pauley's refusal to back down. For the first time in a long while, a journalist was pushing back against the prince, refusing to treat him with the level of reverence that most royal family members expect. Pauley, known for her calm demeanor and measured approach, didn't flinch. Instead, she steered the conversation back on course, refusing to acknowledge Harry's request for formality. The tension between the two grew, making the interview feel less like a chat and more like a power struggle. So, why did this matter so much to Harry? Why did a simple refusal to use Your Highness send him into a rage? First, it's important to understand that for members of the royal family, titles are more than just words. They are symbols of power, history, and status. Harry has spent his entire life being addressed in this way, surrounded by an institution that places immense value on hierarchy and formality. For him, it's not just a polite address, it's part of his identity. But it's also about control. Harry and Meghan have made it clear that they're trying to redefine their roles in the public eye. The decision to leave the royal family was a bold one, and part of that involved distancing themselves from the strict protocols and expectations that come with being a senior royal. Yet, despite their attempts to carve out a more modern, less traditional image, they've consistently held on to their titles. In a sense, Harry and Meghan are trying to have it both ways, living outside the constraints of royal life while still benefiting from the prestige associated with their titles. So when Pauley, a well-respected journalist, refused to address Harry in the way he felt was due, it wasn't just a small oversight. It felt like an undermining of his entire royal identity. And that's where the anger came from. Harry's reaction wasn't just about the title, it was about what that title represents. It was a reminder of the tension that still exists between him and the royal family, between tradition and the modern world, between the identity he's always known and the life he's trying to build. But let's not forget the optics of this situation. Here's Harry, supposedly trying to move on from his royal life, getting upset over something as trivial as a title. It's a bad look. Many fans and critics alike are starting to wonder if Harry is really ready to let go of his royal status, or if he's holding on to it in ways that don't align with the image he's trying to project. The incident with Pauley also highlights the ongoing struggle between the media and the royal family. We all know how Harry has fought against the press, accusing them of invasion of privacy and unfair treatment. But now, in this public interview, the media isn't just trying to tear him down. They're challenging him in a different way, by treating him like any other public figure. And it's clear that Harry isn't entirely comfortable with that. It's also worth considering the larger implications for Harry's relationship with the press. For years, he's been vocal about wanting to change the way the royal family interacts with the media. But moments like this, where he demands a certain level of formality, only reinforce the idea that he still wants to be treated differently from other celebrities and public figures. This constant tug-of-war between maintaining royal privileges and rejecting royal duties is what's causing so much confusion and frustration among Harry's fans. So, what does this all mean for Harry's future? Is this incident just an isolated moment of anger, or is it part of a larger pattern of tension with the media, the royal family, and even his own sense of identity? It's clear that Harry is caught in a battle between two worlds: the traditional, royal world he's always known and the more progressive, independent life he's trying to build. And as much as he tries to distance himself from the royal family, moments like this one suggest that he's still very much tied to it, unwilling or unable to completely let go of his royal status. And as Harry continues to navigate this complicated balance, the question remains, can he ever truly move on from the royal family? Or will he continue to be defined by the very title he's trying to escape? As we continue to watch Prince Harry's journey unfold, it's clear that the struggle for identity is far from over. Whether he'll ever be able to fully leave the royal life behind, or if his title will always hold sway over him, is something only time will tell. But one thing is for sure. This moment with Jane Pauley was a powerful reminder that even in the world of Hollywood and activism, old royal habits die hard. And for Harry, that may be the biggest challenge of all.